Francis Howell School District is committed to the PLC process. PLC stands for Professional Learning Community. A PLC is simply a group of teachers that meet on a regular basis. They share and compare how their students are performing in their classes. This data will help them better understand and meet the educational needs of their students. A good PLC meeting should be centered around one or more of the four following questions. What exactly do we want our students to learn? And how will we know when they've learned it? What happens if they don't learn? And what will we do if they already know it? The following segments will hopefully give you a better idea of what you can expect from an actual PLC meeting.
Okay, let's start off our meeting with celebrations and recognitions. Anybody have anything to share?
I gave my new student the new benchmarks with the Literacy by Design yesterday to help just figure out what her reading level is, and so that went really well. She passed it, so I need to give her the next one.
Excellent. What level did she pass?
She passed level P, but I had some concerns because her fluency is very slow and she's stumbling over a lot of words, so I started pretty low. But she did a lot better than I anticipated, so, and I felt good about giving it, so that was good.
Okay.
I administered the test yesterday also to two of my new students, and I was surprised, I think, with how easy it was to administer the test with following the steps on the directions. So.
And I think the stories are better for the students too. They're more interesting, and it's more on their level that they would be picking up to read too.
I gave the Literacy by Design test yesterday as well, and one of my kiddos they had a below grade level in 4th grade, and he actually passed the T at his independent level, so it wants to move into a U, which is great, because I didn't think that was the correct data, so I was excited.
I did the identifying the strengths and weaknesses for topic 2 yesterday, and was excited that the kids knew which topic or which objectives they needed more study with. They didn't just check off simple mistake. They said, I really didn't understand that, and checked off more study and reflected. So I thought for the first time giving it, they did well with that. Great. Anything else? Okay. Kim is our secretary. Lisa's our timekeeper. And then we have our norms here. If we need to look at those at any time at the meeting, we can. Our agenda, we were supposed to bring some data to the meeting. We were supposed to bring our assessment wall from last year based on the 4th grade results, along with the GATES results, and then along with any informal observations or any new testing you gave for reading. Then math, we were supposed to bring the essential outcome quiz we gave, the topic 2, pre and post test, and strengths and weakness chart, any informal observations, and topic 3 pre-test results. So the purpose of the meeting was to review that data and start our intervention groups. So I guess we need to have the discussion of what kind of groups we think we need for interventions this year, or for right now.
I think a group for the current topic is really a good idea, because last year, when our kids didn't meet, we might try to pull them aside one-on-one, but I think getting those kids together that need more study for that topic, just until they get it, is a good idea. So I think we should have the current topic for math, a group for that.
So it's right after we test, I have a group of kids that didn't get it on the
our
test
previous topic.
to review and make sure they understand the objectives.
Yeah. I think having a couple reading groups and having a couple math groups according to the results from, like you said, the previous topics, and then maybe even more, I guess, a math tutoring group, I guess is what we're calling it, maybe, which would focus more on maybe the essential outcomes for those kids who are struggling just in math in general.
I know, also looking at the data from my room, I have students that wouldn't necessarily fit in interventions for math or for reading, but would be great maybe in an enrichment class with a teacher.
When I was thinking about the strengths and weaknesses of my students last night, I noticed a couple of my students who had to really decide if it was math or reading.
Right.
And I had a couple that they were at grade level in reading, and they seemed to be doing well in math as well so far. But writing was more of an issue, But I didn't know if we wanted to go there. But maybe we just need to decide math, reading, or enrichment, and then we can go there maybe. That might be a better idea.
Well, even just because they're at grade level in reading and math doesn't mean they don't have weaknesses to work on. So that's good. You know, we can find what they maybe need a little push in.
So if we have, one of the groups is obviously Read 180, and those students we've already identified. And they are the students reading at a level P or below, correct? So, and we'll have to figure out the numbers once we organize all of our groups. So we have Read 180, then we will have our math tutoring group. How big do we want that group to be? Because those are the kids that will be coming before school, so to meet with you guys.
I think that we have to make sure that these kids are the lowest of the low in our class. Maybe even start off with 10 in the group for now, because we're going to identify students as we go along over the next quarter that we may not have realized at this point that they need that extra help, and then we can add to the group to make it bigger, maybe maxing out eventually at around 15 if needed.
You can tell from the essential outcome quiz that we all gave, really, you can tell what Kim is saying, I think. You can tell which of your students are going to need more support in math this year. So I kind of looked at that in combination with the topic 2 and topic 3 results.
I know that a lot of that I've identified as my low math kids are my low reading kids as well. So what are we going to do to make sure they're getting all of their needs met as opposed to they're just getting their math?
So which group did you put them in?
Well, I have 2 of my low ones for reading that are reading. Her dufour came up the Q, her Gates was a 3.7. I have her in a reading intervention group, but she also missed 28 on the essential outcomes quiz. So she's low, you know.
Maybe one of the reasons why she's low in math, though, is she's not able to comprehend the questions due to the low reading score. So maybe the best place that I would think would be to have her in the reading intervention group.
That's where I have her.
Hopefully she would grow in math as well.
And that was my thought too. We're gonna have to pick a focus and go with it, knowing that the groups are flexible too. Because she can be in that reading group and look at all the progress we made last year with our kids in the small group reading groups, giving them that additional time. Maybe by the end of the quarter, she'll be closer on the grade level, and then second quarter we can focus on math. Okay, so we have, Jamie, I'm gonna have you put these up. We have math tutoring, Read 180, topic 2 math. We have a reading intervention group.
I have 2 students who did well on topic 2, and they seem to have met the grade level expectations for that topic, but they are in the lowest group of topic 3 and are really struggling. So I didn't know if we should wait on
To go ahead and
doing
start a
topic 3
division group.
Yeah. But
We
I-
could throw it up there because I wonder how many of those kids might overlap to be our math essential outcome. Because I have the kids that are scored at a 20% in my flexible grouping, and there's kids that aren't going to master division in a week. And due to time, I think we still have time. I think if we spend like 10 or 15 minutes on this, and if we don't finish, we can finish grouping the kids at lunch and then spend the last 10 or 15 minutes about what instruction's going to look like in each of these groups, how we're going to collect data and share that among one another. Does that work?
Okay, Lisa.
Okay. Lisa, do you have suggestions on where to put Matt? Because he's in your group now for math. How's he doing?
He's doing fine with topic 2, geometry, but we're getting ready to start division. And so I'd like to see kind of where it is with that. So maybe in math tutoring for now.
Okay. And I know his goal is to get back into the regular classroom and be out of that small group, so
Right.
hopefully maybe the math tutoring can help him do that. Oops. He doesn't want to stay on though.
I guess I could. I mean, if
I put some of my
else
kids that
around?
scored on grade level, like barely 4th grade though, I put them in a reading group,
I
just
did
because
too.
I thought they could use additional help, until I give them more assessments.
Okay.
I put them in the level S.
Level S.
Anytime I meet with him in math, he's struggling, but he's also a struggling reader. But I didn't know how he was doing with division in your room.
Difficult for him. You know, he needs a lot of support. I don't know though. It's tough with that one. Like I have a similar student, Michaela, who's at a level Q in reading, but in Lisa's essential outcome group. But I'm just feeling like you just have to go with what you're saying in the classroom, I guess. And what support they need the most. I'm going with math.
Okay, that's what I was going to go with Mitchell. And I think a lot of the math tutoring is going to depend on which kids can go before school too. Like, are we going to keep them in that group, in the intervention group, if they can't stay before school? We'll have to make that decision.
Yeah.
So far, she's been doing okay in that, but should I put her, because she's gonna miss topic 3, and she missed topic 2.
Topic 2.
And
Because
then,
then she can learn that, and then we'll have to change groups anyway to make a topic 3 group possibly, so then we can move her into that too.
okay,
Then after that, hopefully she'll be on track and can be into one of the other groups. Based on what she needs.
He's above average reader.
Well, and it's such a small group, one teacher could kind of split what they're doing too, you know. 5 kids might need some topic 2 interventions, some kids might need topic 3. You know, that would be easy to manage. Would he need to come before school, or does he just need to be?
I think he would be fine topic 2, topic 3.
What about Jacob, moving him to topic?
Is he a low reader though?
No, he isn't. He's actually in grade level.
He needs topic 2, topic 3 math then too.
I have Derek. And Derek is a above grade level reader, and math is his strength.
But he struggles in class. But part of that is because he chooses not to pay attention though. So
But if you look at his essential outcome
and
quiz,
he's
and you he only missed
smart.
6.
Yeah, he knows
The whole
it.
thing.
smart. He
He's
just chooses.
very. It's very surprising sometimes because his effort isn't always there, and sometimes his behavior isn't on.
Maybe he
target.
needs that enrichment group to go by choice and to get motivated. You know, maybe he'll be
That's what I
excited
wanted,
about that.
but it's not on the board.
No, an enrichment. Or what,
We
what,
have
you
a
want?
Derek group right here.
What did
I
you
don't
want
know.
for him?
Social.
Oh, social skills.
Behavior kind of group is what I wanted for him. And
Well, maybe that's something the enrichment, whoever runs the
Otherwise-
enrichment group that can be part of every day, learning to work as a team and a group while, you know.
consider it intervention group.
So who's doing reading intervention?
That's Natalie.
Natalie.
2, 3, 4, 5.
And reading level R?
We haven't determined.
Okay. And then Kim or Alicia will be doing either one of these?
Yeah.
Okay. What's cool about these groups right here too is if they grasp topic 2 and 3, a kid or two, they can just slide into this. And if you're tutoring and you're saying, gosh, they really aren't getting division, they can slide up there.
That's
So
right. That's a good idea.
Trisha, what I'm thinking, and you can
And
shoot me
I'm
down
trying
if
to
you're
think of-
wrong,
So we're gonna 4?
is that you could be leaving anytime
Right, no,
now, so then maybe do an enrichment group?
Okay.
Or what were you thinking? Were you thinking something
I didn't know what would be best for the sub to do, for her to do. I don't know if either, an average reading or,
I think for a sub to be working with our below
yeah, I
Grade
didn't
level
think,
readers
no,
isn't-
anyone below.
isn't fair to the students.
Right.
No matter who we get as a
So-
sub, we know our kids better as readers.
Right.
I'm excited to see how much the kids grow in that because last year was such a huge success. I don't know if it was necessarily Read 180 or giving them the extra intervention time or giving them extra tutoring time or the combination. Probably doesn't really matter as long as they made the growth.
That's hard to tell.
So we can check with the administrators, we can check with Marcia to see how many kids she definitely wants to take. Hopefully Meryl's on board with our wonderful ideas. And then Kim's gonna check with her parent volunteer to make sure that that day works. I usually have to wait to hear from Marcia though, on which day works for her. And then after that, then we can do the shuffling around. So if we finish the shuffling, maybe by Friday, and then we would be able to start on Tuesday. So we'd have the weekend to plan our instruction.
I think we got most of it done today.
Yeah, and I think we had good conversations about why they're in there and what we're going to do.
Okay, so let's go ahead and review our norms. We begin the meeting at 11:25, and we're going to rotate secretarial duties. Who's going to do that this week?
I'll take notes this week.
Okay, we need to follow our agenda. Everybody have a copy?
Yes.
Okay.
Hannah, she just passed the H. I gave her the benchmark test from our new series, the LBD series, and she did really well on it, and she really did great on the fluency, which just surprised me so much because that's been something she struggled with. So that was a huge celebration.
Well, Jim, who's been struggling with subtraction and regrouping and math, has finally got a strategy that's working for him, and he's progressing, and he's doing so much better. So that was really exciting for me.
I had a celebration. My higher group, we've been working with good discussions, and they've been doing a really great job, and actually taking some of those on themselves and discussing literature in their groups, and they're doing a fabulous job with that. So I'm pleased.
Great. All right, we have a business item we need to discuss. Last week at our EDC meeting, Eileen brought up that we need to have our SMART goals done by next week. So we need to think about how we're going to be allocating our PDC money that we get from the district. So we put that on our agenda for next week.
Okay, got it.
Okay.
All right. We posted our reading assessment portfolio, our rep balls, so that we can see where everyone is falling. And we were able to do this by using our, we tried the new literacy by design. We used those benchmark tests, our grade level common assessment that we came up with, and then the Domini benchmarks, and then regular informal running records. So we collected that data, we were able to place everybody on our wall, and we were going to talk about high group and low group interventions at this meeting. And we usually spend a lot of our time on the low group, so I thought, why don't we start with the high group this time, come up with a couple strategies that we can use with them, and then we can allow a lot of time at the end for the lower group. Is that okay?
Yeah, sounds good.
Okay.
And that would be a great way for us to bring some of those high kids across the grade level together to set up a literature discussion group, and they could choose some own books. I know my little Tanya is in a group in my classroom, and she's just not she's doing very well with the class, but she's not being challenged as much as I think she should be, because she's working at a level that's lower than what she should be at. So I thought that was a great idea, Paula, to do a literature discussion group.
Discussion groups. And I was even thinking maybe bringing in, I have 2 students at a level P, maybe bringing in historical fiction. That is their interest right now. They are really enjoying that. So maybe we could coordinate, have somebody take those higher kids and work with them. Would anybody be willing to do that? I have 2. How many do you have, Karen?
I have 2 as well.
Okay.
Sure, and we could even, since we'll be with our kids and not really have an opportunity to take them down to the book room, we could have our cadet teacher take, when the high school cadet teachers come, we could have one of them take that group down to select a book that's their level.
Okay.
That'd be interesting to them.
I also had 2 readers at P.
Okay.
And we can also set them up like we started with the other discussion groups in reading when they had their roles. Like we did that last year. And
Their specific
They do.
jobs
Yes.
and tasks. Yeah, and I have one student that would do that, so it'd be a group of 7.
7.
Okay.
And I have a place in my room that would work really well. The mats up by the reading center.
Perfect.
So that would work.
Sandy, so
So you're gonna do that then? Okay, super.
Are we going to do it during intervention time, correct?
Yes.
How many days a week are we gonna have those kids come to your room?
It's up to you guys. What do you think? Because, I mean, I'd be fine with them doing it every day because that is their intervention. They're reading above grade level. They'll be doing something they're interested in. So another
Plus,
point
you
A
can
to point
just
B.
check in with them and see how it's going and get them started, and then they pretty much,
Independently will go
Right,
on.
we'll do their own.
and then
Like
you
he
can do
said.
just periodically check in with them. That's
Would
a
we
good
be
idea.
interested in having a reading day and a writing day where they would read one day as their group and then
then write
independent
it.
read and then respond to it?
Or even presentations. I mean, they could
They
present
love that.
something to
Mhm.
each class even.
Maybe we could break it up. We'll look at the book that they choose, and then maybe
That's a
pick
good
so
idea.
many chapters, and then they could come up with, role playing their favorite chapter to the rest of the class.
Could do one of the menu boards where they could choose the different options that they wanted to do, how they wanted to present it.
Right. That sounds good.
Great.
Okay, why don't we shift our thinking then down to the lower end of the spectrum, the kids that really need a lot more interventions taking place. Looking at my chart, I can see that I have one that really needs extra help, and then I have two other ones that would definitely benefit from any extra work we can give them.
And I know I have two that are in need of extra phonics help, chunking words and things like that. Does anybody have any ideas for?
Wasn't there
maybe?
a program that they worked with in special ed, the Spire program, that really focused on that? Possibly we could contact SPED and have them maybe pull a group during that intervention time and doing some, real intense phonics and
Does anybody
spelling.
else have students that would need that extra help?
I have one that could use help with the chunking, and then also, even if we figured that out so that they could help so many days a week, and then be in the class so many days a week, we can come up with alternative exercises and things that they can do.
And I was also thinking the task baskets that we have.
Good idea.
That's good.
Yeah, they have a lot of activities that would be good for small groups.
And our cadet teachers could use those and help work with
Exactly.
the kids with those,
Yeah.
which will free us up and give us some time to be pulling with and working individually or in smaller groups or other things.
And they're made and they're available. And, okay.
You did something with the tape recorder.
I used those with my kids who were having trouble with fluency.
Okay.
And I actually have those two that are the next step up. They really would benefit from some more work like that. Do you have other ideas that I could do? Because I've done the telephone and we've done the tape recording.
From budget, we just got the headsets that include the mouthpiece so that they can record into it. Maybe we could have our cadet teachers work with our kids and have them record their voices while they're reading something, and then the kids can go back and listen to it and talk with their group or with the cadet teacher about how their reading sounded to them.
Who did the interactive writing too? That was another
I
good idea.
in reading groups
With
sometimes
phonics.
with them, we would write a story together, and they would help me chunk the words that they got stuck on, and that's an effective strategy for them too.
The
So-
blends poster is another good
Oh,
one that
yes.
helps with the
Yeah.
chunking if you have it there. And you can do that whole group or in your small group, or you can do it independently with the students if they have it. And we made, I think this year, didn't we make the smaller ones so they have their
Right.
own individual blends chart?
And I had them keep it right beside them while they're reading. So if they get stuck on a word, they can refer to that chart and for assistance, for support.
We also have that chunks game they could use.
Oh, that's
where they have
right.
different pieces and they put the chunks together.
And that would be cadet teacher.
Or a recess period when they come to help.
Exactly.
We talked about having a grade level high group and they would all go to UCND. Could we do that with a low group or even do two different low groups? Maybe, a fluency one and then a comprehension? Because usually those low groups, it's generally they're, disfluent or they're not decoding or they're struggling with comprehension. Maybe we could do a couple of those that we could individually take and work with.
I think that's a great idea.
I think so too. Sure, I'd be willing to take a group, maybe with the.
I feel like for me personally, I would be willing to take one, but comprehension is, I'm stronger in that than I am in fluency. And I know, Karen, you're really good at working with kiddos and using their fluency. So maybe you could take the lower group and work on their fluency, or Paula could do it. I just know that that's not my personal strength.
Then we can decide if we want to do this daily. And we'll target those
See how it
guys.
goes.
See how it goes.
And then also incorporate it in our regular small group when we're meeting with them. So then we'll be hitting them twice.
Right.
Are we going to exclude students that are SPED or are already receiving early literacy group from this, or do we want to include them so then they'll really be getting a triple dip?
I think that'd be a good
I
idea.
think they're the ones that need it.
So what activity do we want to do with the middle group then?
We can have them doing the reading
Reading
rounding.
response
Well,
log.
let's do
That's
the
what I
reading
was
response
thinking.
log.
Right.
Or we could even pull in the vocabulary journal.
Absolutely.
That would be
They could
good.
do both.
and reviewing it, and you
And
find new
sharing
ways to
it.
use those
They could
words,
get
sharing it
together
with
and share
friends.
it. Yeah.
And we could rotate on one day, they could partner read with a buddy too.
Yeah.
So
Okay,
it's reading
so,
enjoyment.
so we should probably go ahead then and divide up the groups.
Okay.
So if you have your class lists, or I guess we could just take them off of the wall up there. Okay, so who was doing the, Sandy, you're doing the high group.
Yes.
So from my class, if you wouldn't mind taking Garrett and Madeline.
Okay. And then I have Buddy and Hazel.
I have one.
Okay.
Alexis. Well, I know from my room, I have one that would really, really benefit from the fluency group. Little Mackenzie would really benefit in the fluency group. And then in the comprehension group, Adam would do very nice.
I have Lynn, she could go 2 ways. Decoding. I think we need to hit decoding because our comprehension is kind of moving along gradually. So let's target that for now.
Well, I have Anna that definitely would benefit from being in my fluency group. And then Hazel. What are the other? We need the comprehension with you.
so
She
Hazel
needs
and
help
Megan.
with comprehension, definitely. That's definitely a weakness. And then, oh boy, Josh could use help with his writing. So if you could work with him on that, that'd be awesome.
Alright. Fiona in the fluency, as well as Hannah. Is that okay?
So each group is about 6 students. And then with this group too, we're going to do Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Because
Tuesday,
we'll all
Thursday,
hit
we'll be
math
doing
Tuesday,
math.
Thursday. Okay.
Would that be too much for you, Sandy, though? Oh, you're just doing the high, right?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
alright.
Do we have any new business, anything else that we need to discuss or talk about, things that have come up?
And we just need to make sure that we talk next week about our
next week.
PDC money and finishing that, getting that SMART goal finished.
And then we need to look at our math common assessment so that we can identify those groups and start working on those as well for Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Yeah.
And we may want to think about, since we're embedding so much of science and social studies
That's a good point, too.
next year, so
Right. Maybe
maybe
looking
a
that
guideline
direction.
how to do that.
Well, I guess if we all just keep our eyes open
Okay.
between now and then, something that
We
you
can
might
lean on
see.
that.
Yeah,
It's a good idea.
maybe pick something.
Well, girls, we have about 2 minutes left. So we have our agenda ready for next week.
Yes,
So we just need to type that up and get that out.
and I will type up notes and get them to you.